Morning. Good day, good evening from whichever locations you are tuning in. Welcome back to our weekly Move to Cloud webinar series. Today we have a topic of licensed Pathfinder for RISE, and with me I have my colleagues Ilona Ryvkin and Nguyen from the Adoption and Insights and Services team at SAP. As usual, if you have questions, please note them at the Q&A box, and we will try to answer them during the session. And if not, then after we are done, we will jump to the Q&A session directly. And with that, I will hand it over to Ilona.
Actually, I will start. Thank you, Krenar. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to our webinar about the licensed Pathfinder for RISE service. Thank you all for joining. We are thrilled to be able to present this new service today that just launched this year. We'd like to start off with a question to all of you. So kindly, please use the poll to submit your answers, sorry. So please tell us, are you currently an on-premise customer who just began the RISE journey? Or are you already in your migration phase, maybe even live with all your systems and already navigating through the private cloud world? I will give you a minute to submit your answer. Okay. Oh, wow, okay. A couple of participants are already in the private cloud, the majority still on-prem. That's great. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So whether you're planning your first steps to the cloud or looking to optimize and expand once you're there, the session will give you actionable insights. So please stay with us for the next 25 minutes as we explain how our service helps you to efficiently move your on-premise landscape to the cloud. Okay. Before we get started, can you go back one slide, Ilona? Yeah, I would like to share with you a disclaimer. Basically, in summary, the information disclosed in our presentation today is proprietary to SAP and cannot be included in any legal contract. All right. Then let's introduce ourselves first. My name is Nguyen. I am based in Walldorf in Germany, here at the SAP headquarters.
And I am Ilona Ryvkin, sitting here in the innovative SAP Berlin office. Together, we are part of SAP's Adoption Insights and Services team with
Hey, Ilona, you have muted yourself. Sorry, Ilona, can I just ask you to unmute yourself again? I think you have accidentally pressed the yes, now it works again.
Was I muted the whole time?
Yeah, I think you just presented yourself. So from there,
okay, I'll start over. And I am Ilona Ryvkin, sitting here in the innovative SAP Berlin office. And we are part of SAP's Adoption Insights and Services team with expertise in software asset management, particularly software usage rights and SAP licensing. We support our customers on their journey to the cloud and make it as transparent as possible. We analyze and optimize license and functional usage and metering data for our global and regional customers. In order to provide customers with the correct consumption insights, we of course require a deep understanding of SAP architecture, frameworks, products, and services. Here is what we'll be covering in our session today. First, we'll talk about the challenges we face and how SAP decided to address these topics in question. Trami will then go into the details of the service and explain some of the modules included. We will explain the end-to-end process and what it takes to complete the service. We'll cover the contents of the final report that you get as the deliverable. Lastly, we'll let you know how you can request the licensed Pathfinder service for your company. So what are the challenges that we have to gather insights so that we can get a better picture of what the migration to the cloud really looks like? First and foremost, there are different starting points, such as ECC or S/4HANA. And each of these starting points come with disparate licensing concepts. The next challenge has to do with solution add-ons. With a move to the cloud, there are new solution add-ons, which come with various other metrics. In addition, there are significant differences in the user model between the on-premise and cloud landscapes. Thus, the mapping between the two worlds from a user perspective becomes a challenge. For example, regarding software engine use, there is no user required anymore, so that roles and authorizations need to be assessed. This has been the core challenge we have been contacted with. Regarding the challenge to use the data to make decisions about the future landscape, it just makes more sense to project consumption based on data instead of estimations. And overall, customers would like to consider their actual usage of their software over time. Other than the licensed Pathfinder for RISE service, our team offers other services as well, depending on where you are in your cloud transformation journey. With these services, we cover the majority of cloud ERP private items. The Adoption Insights service and the SAM4U enablement are offered at a time when you are already using the S/4HANA Private Cloud Edition. These two topics will be covered in subsequent webinars by our team, so stay tuned. So in order to really describe this service, we can say that the licensed Pathfinder for RISE is a data-driven, free of charge and non-binding service designed to assist your migration from an on-premise to a private cloud environment. Let's talk about the technical features, scope, delivery, and outcome of this service. Licensed Pathfinder for RISE is a modular service, allowing customers to add or discard various components based on their specific needs. The scope delivery comes in the form of an interactive workshop, enabling you to use our tools for your company analysis. This service can be delivered either on-site in your very own office or remotely. Remember, it's free of charge and non-binding. And finally, based on the current system usage, we can project the future software requirements as a detailed report. Trami, over to you to describe the modules.
Thank you. As Ilona already mentioned, the service can be built by adding and removing modules so that it fits best to your company's needs. Since time is limited today, I would like to just highlight a couple of modules. There are a few more besides the ones you can see on the screen here. Those can be discussed and included at the beginning of each service. Okay. So let's start with the as-is situation. As an on-premise customer, you already have an established system landscape and a license entitlement, where you can find the software solutions and users you are currently allowed to use. So together we can have a closer look at your current system usage by measuring the relevant systems and then compare those results to your entitlement. This way we can detect possible shareware, which is basically software that is not being used by your company, even though you have a license for it. The next slides will focus on the other modules, which will help us dealing with the challenges that come when you move to the cloud, as mentioned by Ilona earlier, such as the new user metric, full usage equivalence, or short FUE. Here we will take a closer look at your current user management as well as your role and authorization concept to depict your future FUE requirements. The engine module projects the new cloud software solutions, metrics, and the respective quantities. The digital access module covers the new license model for your indirect use scenarios. And the infrastructure part provides insights to design your future landscape. Okay, now let's have a closer look. With the move to the cloud, a new user license model with the new FUE metric will be introduced. The FUE is a key building block of your future software subscription. So in our service, we will explain the new user model in detail and also will evaluate your users on your productive core systems as well on all your development systems. But to just quickly touch on what you can expect. So if you are an ECC on-premise customer, you still have all these various named users, as you can see on the left side, like the professional users, limited professional users, employees, worker users. But if you're already on S4HANA, you probably also know about the new S4HANA use types, as shown here in the middle. With our module, we will provide an SAP note and help you either map the ECC users to the S4HANA use types or to check your current S4HANA user classifications. This will be done based on your current user authorization assignment. Finally, the use types will be used as the baseline to calculate the FUE count you will require in the cloud. Each of those use type has a different weighting factor and will be added to the calculation. In addition to the mapping and calculation, the special service offering in this module is actually the analysis of your roles and authorizations. We, as your SAP experts, will provide recommendations and also run several simulations to show you how you can optimize your FUEs by adjusting single roles and single authorizations. Now that we talked about the users, the engine module covers the software solutions like single sign-on, payroll, transportation management, or all the other solutions you know from your own contracts. This module is actually divided in two parts. So via an SAP note, a report will be made available in all your relevant systems. And once available, we will first conduct a so-called notes check to determine if any additional SAP notes need to be implemented, as you can see on the left. This step is especially important since the measurement results depend on the availability and quality of the metering functions. And by implementing these additional notes, we ensure to either correct, adjust, or add new measurement function modules. Once this step is done, we will run the measurement on each production system, which will show us the engines with the corresponding cloud metric and values, as you can see in the screenshot on the right side. We will support you with the evaluation of your usage data. And with this data-driven approach, we can project your new bill of material and reduce your risk of over or under licensing. With the same transaction from the engine module, we are also able to receive a variety of system KPIs and system-related information, as you can see here on the slide. These will help evaluating the population of your systems, the correct future state of product mapping, the basis version, and it will also ensure the correct database sizing and database compatibility, as well as the correct system and landscape sizing. At the beginning of your RISE journey, the SAP Enterprise Architects usually ask you to provide these details. But instead of using your own resources, our tools can actually provide these infrastructure data and help our colleagues design your future landscape. The digital access license is another critical topic for customers on the RISE journey. With this module, we will provide you guidance and confidence in the topic of digital access by first explaining the license model itself. We will look at your current system landscape, any third-party interfaces, and business processes to jointly discuss your relevant indirect scenarios. As you can see on the right side, not all process documents are relevant. Based on your historic system data, we can verify, count, and calculate the number of digital access documents that you will require in the cloud. Okay, so this was a brief overview of some of the modules. Ilona will now guide you through the service process and what you can expect. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Chami. Here is what the end-to-end process of the licensed Pathfinder for RISE looks like. At first, there will be a kickoff meeting with all key stakeholders involved to introduce the service and get a common understanding of the objectives. In this initial meeting, we will define the scope, timeline, and responsibilities. In order to execute this service, some SAP notes would need to be implemented on the host systems defined in the scope. Once the SAP notes have been implemented, transactions can be run in order to execute reports so that data is gathered, just as Chami mentioned earlier. This data is then used in collaboration with our team to be analyzed and refined. Fortunately, our analytical tools can be used as a self-service well after the completion of this service. In the evaluation phase, we will also show you how you can continuously correct usage in the future yourselves. Finally, we create a detailed report containing a 360-degree view of your company's software usage. As a deliverable of the licensed Pathfinder for RISE service, you get a final evaluation report. The report contains action items, recommendations, and summaries. Let's take a look at the details of what this report looks like. The comprehensive report includes the measured systems which were agreed upon in the scope definition phase. In this part of the report, we can see that the host systems listed and sorted by type so that we can differentiate between production and development systems. As we can see, the production and development systems are indeed measured in different ways. This overview is mainly to act as a workbook reference so that we keep track of the deliverables for each system. FUE evaluation. Let's take a look at the evaluation and the result of the simulations. On the left side, we see the initial total FUEs, which are the numbers from the initial data set. On the right side, we see a significant drop in total FUEs due to an optimized result from combined simulation runs. Engine projection. Here we see the software engines, which are currently running on your production systems. Each software is identified with a unique metric ID, as seen in the leftmost column. We map each of these metric IDs to a material number for you. The different types of software are measured with different corresponding metric types, such as object, document, resource, and user. The measurements show monthly values, which are projected to annual values. There are products which need to be self-declared by you, as we see in the bottom section. These products have special metric values coming strictly from your company's financial reporting. Infrastructure. The KPIs that Chami talked about earlier are consolidated here in a table, which is then shared with the enterprise architects. Here we see the digital access results. In this overview, we summarize the analysis approach, time frame, and the document requirements for digital access. This table shows a breakdown of the total number of documents. So what do you get out of all of this? You get guidance and support from SAP experts, timely collaboration throughout the process, empowerment to make informed, data-driven decisions on the future landscape in your company, license enablement to learn about various license-related aspects of the migration to RISE, enabling you to tailor components to your company's specific needs. Can learn how to use the self-service tools we provide. And of course, the final report at the conclusion of the engagement. So what are your next steps? If you're interested in the Licensed Pathfinder for RISE service, then simply contact your account executive, and they will request the service for you by contacting us. Our team will then reach out to you for an initial kickoff session to discuss the scope, timeline, approach, and responsibilities. We thank you very much for your attention and look forward to your questions. You can post your questions in the chat.
I am already trying to answer a couple of them. But I'm just typing too slow. I'm sorry. So there are 4 open questions, and I was about to answer the one on the agentic AI. We actually have a support portal. Maybe I can just share the link with you, where we have various use case scenarios, where we can distinguish which ones, in which case, digital access documents are relevant or not. But in particular, I would recommend you, because we cannot give you like general answers on this. We need to have a look at your specific circumstances, your specific, processes, to at least tell you which ones are relevant for counting or not. So please reach out to us for an in-depth service. We are happy to help you here. Okay, then the next question is, according to this page, there's also user metric for public cloud. Is this also planned for private cloud, or will this stay at the FE metric? All we can say is for the private cloud for RISE, the metric for the users will still be FUE. It will be different for the public cloud, indeed. Oh, can I answer that live? Oh, okay, done. Does the FUE report not provide the projection for engine licenses and digital access? No, it will not project the engine license and digital access because the FUE report only concerns your users. So we will only cover your users on your systems. And yeah, as we mentioned, the engine, the software solutions, right, and the digital access will be covered with other tools. I believe the recording of this webinar today will be published on YouTube, right, Krenar?
Correct. As usual, at the end of the week, you will find the recording and the slides in the well-known YouTube channel. I'll paste the link into it. Just give me a sec.
Okay. Okay, can we go through initial few slides? Which one are you referring to? Can you maybe please type it in the Q&A box again, and then we can go back to the slides? While waiting for your question, then we can take the next one from Brigitte. She asks, can the data also be seen in sub-for-me? Okay, so this service is, first of all, to support you right from the on-premise world to the cloud. Once you are in the cloud and your systems are up and running, right? There will be a monthly metering that SAP will trigger. The data, like your systems, will be measured, and the data will be available on sub-for-me. I can post a link actually to our support portal where this process will be explained in more detail. I think that will help. Okay. Is the service focused on on-prem to cloud analysis, or do you also check cloud-based topics such as pre-existing BTP, which are part of RISE deals? Our main focus in our service are the software components in the private cloud. So BTP and other like public cloud solutions will not be part of the evaluation. Not only we focus on the private cloud software, we can also, as I mentioned in the introduction, we can also focus on your current on-prem usage. If, for example, if you have like special termination rights or whatever, you can use for commercial discussions, etc. Right? Okay. Plan like to prepare, deploy, and the comparison with ECC.
Comparison with ECC.
Sorry, Ilona?
Yeah, I think that's the slide that we should go to, the comparison to ECC. Was it this one? What's this one?
I don't quite understand what you mean with the plan, like the prepare, deploy, and the comparison with ECC. Okay, let's maybe take another question. The firefighter. Okay, the firefighter IDs. So, good question. I just had that discussion last week. The firefighters, for your global trade, for example, right? They are service users. They have to be declared as service users, and so they don't fall under the FUE count because we only count dialogue users. Although your employees, your colleagues that are using the firefighter users, right? They already have a named user, so they are already consuming an FUE. So we are not double charging, let's say. So whenever someone uses the firefighter ID, this does not fall under FUE. Okay, how does that help if you don't consider the full picture relevant to my rice deal? And BTP consumption is relevant for rice deals, right? Yes, definitely. This is definitely relevant for your rice deals, but there are several parts we need to take care of, and we need to consider when you're talking about your rice deals, right? And your account executive will know best who will be in charge of what kind of components of this journey. And I believe the BTP part will be covered by other colleagues than us. Okay, does the FUE report in a way also provide user optimization details for ECC and also S4 licenses? The FUE report does not give you automated recommendations if you're looking for that. These recommendations, these optimization potentials will be done by us when you're doing the service with us. However, you can use the tool as a self-service tool by, double-clicking on your roles and authorizations. You will see the details that how the mapping will be done. In our services, we will also enable you to use that tool so that you can do your own analysis on it and with it. And these optimizations, we will this is possible for ECC and S4 licenses. So both words can be covered with that. Although this is mainly important for your S4HANA on-prem or cloud users, to be honest. But we still can evaluate your ECC licenses if that's what you're asking. Okay. Does that mean even the service accounts used for RPA automations won't be charged? If you license the SAP or RPA, then whenever a document is processed through the SAP RPA, then usually we don't charge the documents because you already have a license, right? Any application you license via the SAP price list, as I said, any application, any documents that are processed through those applications, those won't fall under the digital access category. Let's see. Since BW for HANA, even as possible in private cloud edition, is likely not part of the RISE strategy. Am I right that a BW lift to private cloud is not part of the offering license Pathfinder for RISE? You're right. This engine will be different on the cloud price list. The metric will change. Instead of looking at memory consumption, I think this will be based on tenants. We will only, like when we are looking at your systems, we will be probably having indicators. And this can totally for sure be part of the discussions, because I believe you need to declare the tenants, and then this for sure we will be talk about during the license Pathfinder for RISE. So to answer your question in short, it can be part. Test user IDs. Well, like in on-premise, test users usually don't require a named user or usually don't require an FUE. So we usually take them out, but however, the metering will still look at your authorizations. So it is important to set your authorization and role concept straight. And then you can definitely, your test users, your dialog users with your test IDs, you can classify them accordingly. So this will be not considered then once the metering is running. Okay. Okay, hi, Terry. Oh, this is under, it's basically on the left-hand side, the last point, it says use case scenarios. There you can find the use cases, examples, and it will show you, yeah, what kind of scenarios will be relevant and not. I hope you able to find it. On the left-hand side, really the last point, use case scenarios, it says. How is the license Pathfinder service different from self-service tool like Sam4U? Very good question. So you basically need our license Pathfinder service also to enable, like, you know, like via implementing all the nodes we ask you to implement, to you know, like analyze your users, analyze your solution add-ons, digital access, etc. With this node implementation process, with this evaluation and measurement of your systems, you will be able basically to use those to, you know, like, how can I put it? So these details will be actually be put into Sam4U. So so in order for you to have all the details and all the measurement results in Sam4U, you still need, for example, to implement the report for the FUEs, right? The star report. You need to implement the node to run the engine measurement. And the Sam4U tool is basically like then the self-service tool, the software asset management tool for you as a customer to run the measurement itself, to compare the results to your entitlement, and just use it on your own environment, right? And with the enablement for Sam4U, we just show you how what the steps are to implement the tool and how to use it. So that's the main difference, right? How does Sam4U works, and the other one, what is you currently using on your systems? Okay. How do you recognize free of charge engine-only users when analyzing the assigned roles and authorizations? So, how our star tool, like the mapping works, is basically there is a rule set you need to download from the node, from the SAP node. And then when you're running the report, you need to upload this specific rule set, and then it will match with your current roles and authorization settings. So based on the authorizations that your users are having, and based on what is in our reference mapping rule set, right, we will then automatically see which authorizations belong to specific engine usage. And you can see it in the report as well. It will pretty much say engine use. Next question. My experience is that SAP charge by permission, not actual usage. Does the service look at the SD user trace data and make suggestions on removing redundant permissions? Exactly, like per the software use rights, right? Each of your users has to be classified according to the authorizations they have, meaning the permissions, right? So this is what we are doing with the FUE module, that we look at your roles and authorizations to see if there are any possible cleanups, adjustments. This is what we mean with recommendations, right? To show you then maybe a couple of users have like too many authorizations, which you might didn't intend to give them. And so we just wanted to point out a couple of things so that you can use that to do your own internal cleanup or adjustments. And as I mentioned earlier, we also have the possibility to do simulations, meaning the data you're sharing with us, we are able to run simulations on our systems and then show you how the numbers actually can change without you actually having to change something in your system, right? So this will be possible by these simulations so that we can show you the FUE changes, usually the FUE drop. Okay. Do you combine roles and authorization data with actual T-code activation usage data to actually choose a license type FUE that fits to the actual usage rather than only the broader authorization assignment? For now, we are going to go with the official description with the software use rights that it is based on the authorization settings, right? However, we are working on looking at actual usage, like as you're saying, like actual transactions that your users are performing. What we are doing in the FUE module, though, is besides looking at the authorizations, we are also looking at your active users. Meaning we will have a look at the last logon of your users and then basically removing all those users who haven't logged on in a specific time frame. And this way we can also give you recommendations on how to clean up those users so that they won't be considered in the FUE counting. I think there will be more communication to you regarding actual like system usage data, but for now I won't comment any further on this. Do you mean the star rule set of node 31133 you use for the free of charge and engine only users? I think this is the right node. Let me double check. Where's the question? No, this is no. Wait, hold on. We made it easier for all of you by having 3 different or a bunch of different SAP nodes that need to be implemented, we have consolidated them under one umbrella node that I'm going to share with you. This might be easiest. Wait. I just disregarded the question. Sorry. Where is it? Type answer here. Okay, sorry. Okay, I just posted the umbrella node that I was referring to, which includes the node for the star evaluation, like the FUE module, sorry, the engine module, and also the developers for the FUE evaluation. And yeah. Oh, actually, you were right. Yeah, the node for the FUE is the 3113382. Okay. Wow. Okay. There were a lot of questions. I mean, we still have time. If you want us to go into more details regarding a couple of things. But I mean, basically to sum it up, we would recommend you to reach out to your account executive so that they can request the service for you. And then it is best to be done on like a customer per customer basis so that we can fully focus on your current system setup, on your future needs. And then we can go into much more details during the service. Okay, another question. There have been a PCE rule set version 69 changed a few months ago, meaning that final FUE calculation had to be recalculated for our race customers. Most of the time, it meant an unexpected increase of FUE. This caused some concern amongst our customers. So with new versions of our rule sets, right? It basically just means that we are adding new authorizations and authorization values that we mapped to a use type. So we are just basically enhancing those rule sets to cover more of the authorizations and authorization values. And based on those, it meant an unexpected increase. Oh, increase, sorry, going up. I believe there was a communication a couple of weeks ago, because that was concerning a specific authorization value. Do you mind maybe reach out to us again regarding this and your customer, and then we can go into more details, because I want to have a look at it again first before answering this on here. I would highly appreciate that. Okay. Will you expand the service to cloud ERP public in future? We are not convinced cloud ERP private is the path forward for us, and public has the new user license types now. I'm very sorry, I cannot answer this question because I am not aware of any thoughts on it. Or I mean, once we plan on adding new service offerings regarding public cloud, I believe we will let you know. But for now, I am not aware of any of those.
Okay, quite some questions, I would say.
Great. Yeah.
In the meantime, I just want to make you aware that we will continue next week with our next session on also on adoption insights. So all the participants happy. I would gladly invite you to join to next week's sessions as well. So, do you have any additional questions? All right.
There is one.
Oh, the account executive are aware of these new offerings? I hope. No, we are aware, like a lot of them are aware, a couple of them might not be aware yet. But as we said, if you like to use this offering, please just contact them. Please make them aware that the Adoption Insights and Services are offering the services, and we're happy to reach out to you. Okay, I think that was the last question. Then thank you all for participating, and I know. Over to you, Krenar.
Yeah,
Ilona.
sure. Thank you so much, Tra and Ilona. I think it was a very interesting session with quite a lot of questions, and you did answer them always on the top. So thank you for that. Yeah, as mentioned, we will continue next week with our session to adopt SAP Adoption Insights. There we have also great speakers, great content. Thanks again, Tra and Ilona, for your time today. And for the rest, have a nice rest of the week, and hopefully see you all next week, Tuesday. Yeah, indeed, a great session topped by Q&A. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, then have all a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.